welcome to the Citrus County Chronicle. This election season, we've invited all the candidates that you're going to see on the primary ballot to come in and spend a couple minutes just talking with us. Over this election season, we want to provide lots of opportunities for you to hear a little bit about the candidates, where they stand on positions, and know a little bit about their background. So, Superintendent of Schools is one of those races, and I have Dr. Hebert with me here today. Thank you for coming.
Yep, thank you.
So other than me, why don't you just tell us a little bit about you, your candidacy, a little bit about your background. Tell the folks.
All right, so I'm Dr. Scott Hebert, and I am running for Superintendent of Schools for Citrus County. I've been in the county for 34 years, started as a teacher, worked my way up the system as a teacher at various schools in the district, school counselor, assistant principal, and then I moved into the district office as a director of various schools in elementary, then the chief academic officer, and currently this past year I serve as the assistant superintendent. And one of the things you'll find is I am not in my office. I consider myself relevant because I'm out in the schools. I'm meeting with the principals, I'm meeting with teachers, I'm in classrooms. I want to make sure I'm visible in the community to see what's going on and to understand what happens in our schools to be able to provide that support.
So, you and I are out in the community a lot, and if you talk to folks, the growth of our community is just exploding, right? And that's certainly on the hearts and the minds of lots of folks. As it relates to the school system, though, the state has a lot to say about the school system and your growth plan and where you can do and what you can do. So if you could paint a little picture for those folks to kind of help them understand what your vision for the future of our school system looks like with all the influx of new students, and how we can kind of navigate that. What does the future look like for the schools?
So as we think about growth, and one of the pieces that I think sometimes it's important for the public to understand is our schools, we get to build new schools when the state tells us to build new schools. So we look at capacity of all of our schools. And currently right now, as we monitor that, and we monitor it every week, we get a report about how many students we have, what our projections look like, where the openings are, and what we need to do. So long term, we're looking ahead at where we can have some opportunities for growth. One of those areas is next to the YMCA. We have land currently there, and we're looking at that as an opportunity if we need to build a school. Now, we're not set on it's got to be an elementary school, because there's been a lot of conversation of, it's got to be a new elementary. We may look at a K-8 model. There may be an opportunity to say, would that be an opportunity we could do some partnership with the YMCA? What might that look like? We also have land at where Rock Crusher Elementary is. We know that in that center part of the county, there's going to be quite a bit of growth. And so we may have to look at rezoning. We may have to look at moving students from one school to another, but we want to do it strategically, because when families choose homes, they choose them based on the school. They want to say, I want my child to go to this particular school. So we're cognizant of that when we're making these plans. We want to make sure that we're strategic about it. We want to make sure we're thoughtful about it. So as we look at that growth long term, we're already looking years ahead what that looks like and how that's going to be laid out for our school district.
Very good. So the school district already has land, and part of that process is somewhat encumbered by the states allowing you to even utilize them.
Yes, that's exactly correct. So we look at all those plans to be able to make those decisions, because we can't just decide we're going to build a school here. We have to make sure that the state says you have the spots, and we have to be overcrowded before we're actually even allowed to build a school.
It's a sad
It is very, very, very sad.
Dr. Hebert, there's a number of issues that I'm sure concern you, right? You spent time in the classroom, you spent time in administration, but what is that one thing that really is what you want to bring as your leadership if you're elected as the superintendent of schools? What is that one issue that you want to resolve or bring to the forefront for our community?
So I think one of the things that we hear a lot about is our recruitment and retention of staff in our school district. We are currently, we've raised bus driver salaries because we know having an issue with getting bus drivers, so we've done that. But we also know we have to look at our other employees as well. We want to make sure that we're keeping salaries competitive across, not only just within our district locally, but across other districts neighboring us as well. So we want to make sure that we're looking at how do we do that. We also want to make sure that teachers, staff members are provided the tools and the resources to do the work they need to do. When we hear about bus drivers, and some of the concerns we've heard is the discipline on the bus and how students are behaving on the bus or in the classroom, We have a code of conduct that our school board adopts each and every year and reviewed. We get public input on that. We want to make sure that staff members understand what that code is, how to use it, and what are those other resources they may need. Could it be additional parapros or teacher aides on the buses? Could it be additional staff in the classroom to provide that support? We want to do that, but we need to make sure that we're not only looking to retain our teachers, but also how do we make it attractive? We know coming to Citrus County, it's a great place to work. 20 years, we've had a phenomenal superintendent, Sam Himmel, that's run this school district. We want to make sure that we continue with the great work of our school district, and we want to make sure people want to be here and be a part of it.
Excellent, excellent. So again, Dr. Hebert is one of the two candidates that you'll see on the ballot for a superintendent of schools. I want to remind you of a couple key dates, though, before we leave here. Remember that July 22nd, that's the last date you have to register for this election cycle or to change your party affiliation, July 22nd. Also, early voting is going to begin on August the 9th, running through August the 17th. And that each one of those early vote sites is from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then, of course, we have Election Day, which is on August 20th from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So thank you, Dr. Hebert. Thank you for your time today, and make sure that you participate in the process.